Have you seen Lorna Taylor from Taylormadejournals, A Christmas Wish? You want to check that out from her Etsy store, and the link will be down below in the description. I'm also making, well, I already made this really cool, what will be our cover of our latest junk journal that we're making. And this is with Kathy Holden fabrics. But we are using these awesome products with a whole bunch of vintage items and this new cover to make our next journal. So come watch with me. So this is our latest journal that we're making, and I've already pulled out all the papers and folded them. So this is all of those. There's lots of different ones. And this was all with A Christmas Wish digital kit from Taylormadejournals. I printed all of these papers on parchment paper. This one here is Prima's latest from this year, their Christmas line. So some of those, because they do match, I did put them in here. But for the most part, this is all from Taylormadejournals. So I have that. I have other goodies that we'll be adding. This will be a process video, and this is part 1 of what will be probably 3 parts. So I hope you enjoy this. You can craft right along with me, and we'll get going. So with this one, a lot of the times I like to go around and ink my edges, but with this one, I am not going to ink all of it. There's just going to be some, just because of the kind of images and papers and things that are in here. I don't know that I want to do it with all of them. Some of them for sure. Like there's just some pretty images in here. We have lots and lots of ephemera to add to this as well. So, and we will be adding a bunch of these awesome goodies as well. So we have those. I have tons more, as you will have maybe seen in the last video that I put up, and I will link that right here, which was our Victorian Christmas junk journal, which is also on YouTube already. So we're going to do that. I also have a few more coming. There will be winter ones coming. There will be coiled ones, all kinds of different Christmas ones that are featured this month. So you don't want to miss those. All right. So some of the things we can add to this too are some of these awesome stamps. These are all Tim Holtz, and I really like most of these. This one isn't really Christmassy, but you could turn it into something Christmas-like. That one, same thing. This one's Christmassy. Most of the ones I buy tend to be Christmassy. This one, it could be. This one isn't, and then this one is just as it is. You can use that for anything with stitches, especially if you don't have a sewing machine. All right, so we have those. With the color scheme that we have, we might be adding some Doodlebug crushed velvet brads, because these are the perfect color for those. So we have those aside. I may or may not be adding some of the Christmas tinsel that he released, so we might put some of that on. Still thinking of our plan here. And these can go on the edges. These are from a few years ago. This is the Hey Santa from Crepe Paper, and these are great for adding little trims onto our journal. So those can go on the edge. So you could use something like that if you have them. We'll be using some scrap trinkets, our rusted paper clips here. We have tons and tons of ideology, laces, trims, all kinds of things. So you don't want to miss this. Adding stamps and die cuts in the sort. So let's start on that. Some of this I will be speeding up just because it will be repetitive, like me inking things. So I'm sure you do not want to watch that. We will be going back and forth with inking. I use the Distress Archival ink, and I use Ground Espresso or Vintage Photo. Right now I'm going to use Ground Espresso. It's slightly darker. Actually, you know what? I will use the vintage photo. The last one used the ground espresso primarily. We will be using this one just because it has a better color, I think, for the lightness of this. So right now I am going to grab we are going to change this because it needs to be changed right now. And I am probably going to put my mat over top of my glass mat. The only reason I say that is because, as you can probably see, there is a glare. And that's the main reason I usually have it on here, is because of the glare when I'm filming. All right. So let's do that now. That's better. Okay. So now we'll add from our bag of these. I go through so many of these because I ink so much. All right. Now we can start. So hopefully you guys are getting lots of crafting in these days. I myself have not as much as I would like, but that sometimes happens. This one I'm just going to give a light inking. With this, I'd find you don't have to do a whole lot, just because we did use the parchment and it's already a different color anyways. So you really don't have to. I mean, if you really wanted to, once the book was made, our journal was made, you could go back and add it, but it's not as easy. So much easier to do all that when you first start. Okay. I've heard some people say that they like to put their books together and then put all of the embellishments and adornments and things on. I sometimes agree with that and other times I don't. But we will see. What I'm going to do first, and then I will finish inking, is figure out where I want my pages to be in the page placement. There's other pages we can add here, but I don't want this to be a really thick book because we have so many other Christmas ones we're doing as well. This one here, because as you'll notice there's a color change. This is done on white, and this is obviously more of a cream color. I am going to ink this one because it is a slight different color, just so it looks a little bit more even, but it's all personal preference. Okay, so there's that. This side I will do as well. There's a little bit of gold on here, so it kind of goes nicely actually. And then the back side, we'll just flip that. Look at that cute little vintage girl on there. So cute. We have tons of embellishments for this. So we will, there's lots in this kit. Lorna always, Taylormadejournals, always has tons of embellishments in her kits. So it's always really nice. So I think I'm going to start, this is to me a really good starter page. So we could start this with that. And then I don't think I want to go immediately into, because I did some of my folds that way and I did other folds this way. So the picture would be, the images would be on the inside. So it would give ourselves a double page. So I am going to do that. I'm going to add maybe this sheet. So it's not all just from the journal. We will put this one here. So this one is really busy. So with having a busy one, we will have something else that's not busy. We might be able to get away with doing this journal is one signature, but if it gets too thick, it will have to go to 2. So there. We'll do another page here. That last one was more of a plain page, so we'll do a busier page. Now it's time to add another. We'll do that. And another one here. This is how I assemble mine. This is probably the first time actually showing you my assembling, because normally I have my books already made for the most part, and then show you what I do from there. Okay, and then we'll do, how many do we have here? 2. Actually, we'll add, this is vintage secretary journal papers from a ledger. And I believe this was 19, I saw it before, I think it's in the 1930s. Love the penmanship, you don't see that anymore. I can't remember. I'm sure it was around the 1930s, might even be earlier. Okay, so now we can go and add, that is kind of busy. Let's add this one. That's perfect. And this one we can add because it's not so busy, even though there's already an image there, because I tend to like to have it not so busy. We could do that, or we could even do, would this be better? No, I'm gonna do this one. That one's good. All right, so let's see how thick this might be in our book. This is nothing, so we can actually maybe add more to these pages. All right, so where were we at? We were at 2 of those. So let's add another item from here. So we have our bag. Add an image from there. Add another one. Okay, now we can add, this is our vegetable, or is that vegetable? That one is vegetable dyed. Now we can add more in here. That one. See, you can probably get the gist of this. Every third I'm putting something different. So there is 1 and 2. So now we do 3. And because we have lots more of these, I'm going to probably add some more of those, maybe every other. That was nice. I'm going to put this one here. This is also vegetable dyed. It's a nice contrast. These are all that kind of fold. Actually, you know what? I will put our music paper there. Then we'll have a plain one. And we can add this. Actually, no, we'll do this one. So we have a few of these still. That works great. And our plain paper. Then we've got, I'm gonna maybe put that one there. This one here. Our book there. This one there. And then the ho 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 maybe here. And this will be our inside. And I kind of like this one because this is a thicker paper because it is scrapbook paper. So it will be better for our binding. So that is how thick our book will be. That actually works not so bad. And then it will fit in there like that. So it works great. And then we will adorn this too at the end. There won't be a whole lot more going on here. We will add some stuff though, just because we've already stitched it on. And with this one, it is an Amazon package on the inside, so it's a great way to use those up. So I am going to put this together and then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. So as soon as I'm done that, then that's when we will start adding some of our adornments to it. And I am going to show you how you ink your pages after the fact, because I don't think I'm going to ink a whole lot of these because they are already kind of vintage looking. But I will be adding some ink to the adornments that we put on here. So away we go. And I primarily in this journal used Lorna Taylor from TaylorMadeJournals, her kit, A Christmas Wish, which is so sweet and cute. It has colors of pinks and blues and, you know, that kind of thing. There's lots of other, you know, parts to this that are not digital. So if digital isn't completely your thing, there's other things that you might like about this. There's lots of vintage in this as well. And I will show you some of what we're doing. This is a process video, so those of you that like longer videos, I hope you'll enjoy this because I will be going through my process and talking to you along the way. So we will get started on that now. So I have actually already, I'm going to pull out my little trusty package here that I made for stuff that, and this is what I tend to do is I pull out some of the stuff that I'm going to make and alter to put into my journals. So these are some of the things that came with that kit, and then there's some other pieces from other things as well, you know, whether it's Prima or whatever. And I am going to either ink some of these or just pop them into different places. This is some deli paper, so that might go in there. Some old book paper. This is a divider card, a library card. This is like a music paper. This could possibly go in there, I'm not really sure. It's just a window envelope, flashcard, some ledger type papers. This is a vintage receipt. So this is just some of how I kind of do my process. These are some leftover little bits of paper that I used from the journal. And then again, some more that I've already fussy cut out. So we can pop those in there. A recipe card. This is a card I got a few years ago from a friend. So these are some things that we could possibly put in there, just because it matched the color scheme. Some more pieces. This is a vintage from 1918, a vintage envelope. I don't know if there's letter in here. No, it's just the envelope, so we can maybe pop that in there. Some Braille. This is just some pictures I pulled out because if I were to ever keep these are things I could put in that are my own personal things, but I plan on selling this one. And some more. These were done on some parchment paper, and you will see with some of them just how different it is because this is parchment and some of the other ones are done on white, so you can see the contrast of just the difference of them. And then here's some Prima paper that we could cut apart, but I believe this is a second sheet to one I've already done. And for those of you who actually like scrapbooking layouts, I will be doing 3 different styles of scrapbooking using Prima's line, Sweet Christmas, which is also featured in this. So that will be coming up soon as well for those of you that like my scrapbooking layout videos. So we're going to possibly use some of those. Some other things I thought about using as well are some of these Kathy Holden stamps, which are really cute. Love these. And for those of you in Canada, I cannot find these here in Canada. I had to get these from scrapbook.com. So you might want to check that out. I'm sure some of these go pretty fast. Some other things that we could put in. Some Tim Holtz tinsel, possibility. I just don't want to make this too thick. Some crushed velvet brads. These are the bubblegum ones from Doodlebug, which match perfectly. As well as these ones possibly, I don't know. These ones are the crushed velvet brads limeade. So those both go in there. We have these. These are from Lemoncraft. They're the Yesterday buttons, and I believe these are a little bit older. These are not fresh, brand new things, but they kind of match as well. So there's a bunch of different things. We've got some ribbons, we've got some scrap trinkets, you know, clips and pins and all kinds of things. So yeah, these are a bunch of different things we could use. I plan on possibly putting these on the outside. These are crepe papers, Hey Santa, pom-poms, tassels, which are from, I believe, a couple years ago. So there's a bunch of things that we can do. So let's get started and see what we want to put in here. I know some people think that Christmas is just red and green, and for me sometimes it is, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I loved this kit that Lorna put out. So what I tend to do with mine, if you haven't noticed already, is I will have a printed image on one side and I leave the other side blank so we can put any of our trinkets, our pieces, whatever in there, or just leave it blank so you have space to journal. I don't always like having images on both sides. So that's just the way I create. I know lots of other people do other things, but once we put our elements inside, there will be something on most of the double pages. We have things like this where we can just leave it and clip it, or you can even adhere something on both sides and use it as a pocket. So that's another option as well. So we will get started, and what we're going to do first before we get cracking and putting things in here is start with doing some of our embellishment changes and making some of our fun pieces. So as you guys will probably notice, I've had a few different journal videos, and from what I'm hearing from some of my viewers, they are wanting to see some more scrapbooking layouts. So I've started making some more scrapbooking layouts, and I will have those coming on. I really like to do the 3 different styles in a video, showing 3 different ways and 3 different styles you can create using the same products. So those will be coming back. I've also been asked for more mixed media, so that will be coming as well. I have a great one coming up right away that you guys won't want to miss. It was meant for the fall, but I just didn't have time, and it kind of got held off. So I've started it but not finished it. So that will be coming up soon as well. Hope you guys are enjoying your time right now. As I'm making this, it is December and Christmas is just around the corner, and I know that lots of people are busy right now, as I am, as most people are. Trying to find a lot of that balance like everybody else is right now, trying to keep work and life all balanced, as well as doing my crafting and all that. So hope to have more videos coming out soon, and try and use my time wisely so I can create more videos for you, because I tend to create more in the winter and not as many in the summer, because in the summer I'm outside a lot. So yeah, as I'm sure most of you guys probably are. Okay, we have so many cute different little elements here to these things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now pull out some of the ones that I had already cut and fussy cut. There's a bunch of different ones here. Some of these we can turn into pockets. The one thing you want to do when you're turning something into a pocket is make sure that you have enough space. So like for this one, for example, we will have just enough space to turn that into a pocket. Because of the width. What I like to do with a lot of these is put my book together and then put the elements in after, so you know that you have the space and you're not punching your holes where your pieces are. So with this, I am going to use the Distress Archival ink in Vintage Photo from Ranger, and I'm going to give these guys a little bit of color. You could, if you really wanted to, use a pink or a bright blue or something in this color scheme of these papers. I chose not to for this one, but you definitely could. Okay. hopefully everybody's liking the journals lately. Love to hear you guys' comments on what you think and what your favorites are, because then it gives me inspiration to do more and to find out what other things I should make and create. It's always good feedback. For you locals here, I've heard a few people saying that they miss me at the scrapbook store, and I've had a few messages and whatnot, and yeah, I might not be there anymore, but I am still kicking. So drop me a message. Had a few people asking me for different advice on certain products and things, and drop me a message. I might not work there anymore, but I am totally here to help you out. That's also what my channel is for. Okay, so we're giving this a little bit of color. I really like these Prima ones because they, you know, they kind of bring a little bit of modern into the old days. Like you've got a little bit of the gold fleck and the gold foil on here, but it's also very vintage looking, which I really like. So these ones were all done on a cardstock. Not a heavy weight cardstock, but probably around, I don't know, I'm guessing probably an 80-pound. But it's good for what I'm doing here. It's a little bit less than these, but it's still a thick enough cardstock. I really like the I believe it's Colorbach, their cardstock, and I believe Spellbinders. I'm trying to remember because I usually take the cardstock out of the package, so I believe that's what it is though. Okay, so we're getting those all out. I find it a lot easier to do our embellishments ahead of time, and then when you want, you can just pop them into your books and into your journals, and it's already done for you. With having said that, the only reason I'm not doing that ahead of time right now is because I'm showing you what I did. But there will be a day when I just do some random generic pieces, and we will film that and do that with you. And we will use them for future books. I have so many journals coming up for those of you that like journals. One is a seaside one. I'm just looking at them now. I have a vintage cookbook, sewing, farm, bumblebee, sunflower, summer. Like there's so many on the go right now. Right now I'm doing more of the festive ones, but those ones will be coming in the new year. So, and there's always more and more stuff coming out and finding new things at my fingertips, so it's always awesome. For those of you that like doing digital kits and things, I would love for you to drop me a message in the comments and let me know what digital kits that you found on Etsy that you really like, and what different digital artists that you've seen that you enjoy. There's quite a few that I follow, but it's always neat to find new ones and see something different for a change as well. So I really like these. I find sometimes these round and these oval ones, especially oval, are hard sometimes to get in an oval shape, but I kind of like not having them perfect because it just seems more of the time, if that makes sense. It's not like they would have had circle cutters and punches and things like we do now, so I kind of like that actually. Very fun. So we got some more coming. And all of the artists that I use, whether it's digital artists or some of the products I use, because I'm not compensated at all, are listed down in the description below. So make sure you check out that description box down below and check out some of the featured artists that I talk about. Okay. So much fun, my friends. Yep, just love it. Love it, love it, love it. If I could just stay at home all day and not work and just do this, I would. But I know a lot of the people that do that are retired, and that is not me. So I don't foresee me being retired anytime soon. But I sure would love it. So there's that. And with some of these, like, I don't just leave them and put them in like this. A lot of them I will add elements to them and alter them to some degree. They're not just left like this. There's lots of things we can do to them. My family, they sometimes, I think, give me a hard time to some degree because I really like vintage stuff. And this year, I didn't put up a lot of Christmas decorations. I haven't even put up my tree yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to put up my tree actually, but I always do a Nordic Christmas because I'm Scandinavian. A Nordic Christmas tree, and I try and do some of that stuff, but I also very much like vintage Christmas ornaments and Christmas decorations. So a bunch of my Christmas ornaments, well, not Christmas ornaments, I guess, Christmas decorations for the house are the old plastic ones from the 60s and 70s, which I absolutely love because it makes me feel young again, and it just reminds me of being a kid. And it's just, it's not great. I have 4 cats, as you may already know, and my cats, especially the youngest one, who's almost 5, absolutely likes the plastic ones. So keeps taking the plastic ones. I'm like, don't take the plastic ones because I can't get any more. They don't make these anymore. And they're probably got so many different bad things in them because they're so old that, yeah, she could get sick. I don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to deter her from eating my plastic Christmas ornaments. So, not great. So there we go. We've got those ones done for now. And there we go for that. I also have this, which I thought we could use. It's corrugated paper. And it was sticky at one time, but it's not brand new. So we would have to use some stick to it, but that's fine. That might be something we can add to it. And I also have tons of die cuts and embossing folders and other stamps and you name it. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. So let's keep going. One thing I know I want to do is add a couple pockets. That is a for sure. Just seeing which ones we can do actually, because there's lots we can do. This one would be a great one. We can do that. And one thing we could do too is get out our scoreboard. You could even put a score in there and have this as a flip and put something underneath it. It doesn't have to be just that. So that's one idea. We could even just put this up here and then put a nice picture below it. Yeah. Maybe we can put this in the back. So it's 25, so it's like closer to Christmas. If that's the way you want to look at it, I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this as maybe like a pocket with the adhesive around here, so you could put something in the top, and then we could always put a picture down here. So that's what we'll do for this one. So I'm going to get out my art glitter glue. I don't always have my pin in here. So, okay. Ooh, that came out fast. Okay, that. I'm just going to go down there with my finger because that one came out so fast. All right, so we will put this like that. There we go, that works. There we go. And then you can always, we can put a picture down at the bottom. whether it's, you know, one from somebody or it's a Tim Holtz one. We can just maybe clip a Tim Holtz one in and somebody could take it out if they want to put their own in there. That's an idea. Or we could even put something like this little girl sitting up there, kind of like that, but that's our pocket. Don't know if we want her sitting on a flower. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's put this little girl on the flower. Kind of like that idea. I really like these Tim Holtz people. And we can always go and colorize it after the fact. There we go. So there's that idea. So we're going to flip through some more. We got lots of people we can add to this. To me, this seems like a really delicate type of book. So I don't really want to add people like this guy here. He doesn't look very delicate to me. We could add some women and some young children. That might be a good idea. I also have other pieces we need to just fussy cut and we can add. So like this would be a perfect one for a pocket, but they just need to be fussy cut out. So that is also an option for us to do. And I've also got a schwack load. I've got even more than this, but of Christmas cards that we can put in here. So these are all old ones. 1910, 1911, they're all from that timeline, so they're all old. I think that says 1914, but they're all very pretty, very neat. I would never tack these down. This is 1909, because they're just too much history. So it'd be nice to put these like in some kind of a pocket, and then this is just new, but we can turn that into a pocket. So let's flip through and find another page where we can add a pocket and add some washi. So we got a bunch of different things we can add. I'm going to show you my Christmas bundles. This is all my Christmas doodads. I have this out year round and I use this for all my Christmas goodies. And I have a lot of fun with this one. There's a lot of stuff in here we can use. Ribbons, trims, washi, you name it. So I'm just going to pull out a few things. Because our color scheme is more of a pink and blue, some things are a little harder to use because they don't fall into that color scheme of like golds and reds and greens and that kind of thing, but we can still try. There's so many things we can use. Yes, we're gonna have so much fun, friends. Lots of bits and pieces. All right, so put that down. Got all of our Christmas people, and I've got pockets and you name it. So we got lots. All right, one thing I am going to do, I've also got some 49 Market washi, and I like this one. This one is Christmassy, but it's not colorful. So I thought I was going to add maybe a little bit of mixed media to this one. Just gonna try a thicker paper. Let's see what we can do here. I might add some color. Let's see. This one might work. Trying to find something that had more of a neutral page next to it. Okay. Okay, there's that. Some of these things, they fray a little bit, so you just got to be careful when you're pulling them off. Especially these thicker washies, they're hard sometimes to peel because they're so wide. Okay, so there's that, which is really kind of pretty. And then we can maybe add a little bit of this to it. Kind of just give it a little bit of oomph. Oh my goodness. Stick into the other one. There we go. Done. All right, that I love. That is really neat. Excuse me. And with some of these, we could just add like even just a word or something. Like some of these I like this one here, just family. It's a good one for a Christmas book. Home. So blessings, these would all work for here. And then I have all of our just regular Christmas stamps that we can use, plus all of our Tim Holtz we can use. Like there's just lots. So we have lots of different options we can use. These ones are all kind of little ones. Those are all Kathy Holden as well. These ones are all Christmas. So that's neat. Christmas waves a magic wand over this world and everything is softer and more beautiful. There's music notes there. Yeah, there's like just different sayings and things. There's so many different stamps and things I have that we could easily use. And then we haven't even got into like the Tim Holtz ones. There's tons of those. And we used this one in our last journal, but we could always use something like that. Very pretty, and it kind of goes with the theme. So that's an option. So we're gonna get going and make some more fun awesomeness. Yeah, some other things we can use. These are just some of the fun stuff. Stamp. Another embossing folder, another die cut. There's just so many things I have pulled out that we can use. So there's not a shortage by any stretch, that's for sure. So I'm going to make a few things and then I'm going to show you what I've come up with.